There are some movies that are here to entertain, others to delight, and others are movies of the day, of the age. And I think I'm Still Here is one of those movies, as a lot of the world is falling into authoritarian regimes. This movie has come along at exactly the right time to teach us the lessons of what happens when that happens. If you've not seen the movie is about an ordinary family in the middle of the Brazilian dictatorship of the 1970s, the Fascist Brazilian dictatorships of the 1970s, and what happens when the dictatorship encroaches on their life and the father of the family disappears. The best thing about the movie is that it's based on a real story. It is not made up. At the end of the film, you see the pictures and the 8mm films they had of the family. It's incredible. And it's a more realistic depiction of what would happen to the ordinary person if they were under a fascist dictatorship in a more liberal country. In a lot of movies, there's always the heroes running here and there, doing this and that to overthrow the regime. This is what would happen to just the ordinary family. All questions are answered in this film. Like when the husband disappears, how do they pay the mortgage? Realistically, going to the bank, getting the money. How do you access his assets when nobody will admit whether he's disappeared or he's dead or whatever? How does that work? All questions are answered in this movie. The fact this actually happened is crazy. How do the children cope? What about people who know the family? How would they react? Will they try and support them? Will they try and, disappear into the cracks so they don't get infected with whatever thing that caused this guy to disappear? All questions are answered. What happens over the years when the father doesn't come back as quickly as you want to? Are you still going to pursue the mystery of where this person disappeared to? And more importantly, do the people who have caused this situation, do they get punished? Is there justice? And how that would affect you over years and decades. Runner-up that I think should win Best Picture, but is actually, they've only been submitted to Best Foreign Picture, is Seed of a Sacred Fig. Wow, what a movie. I consider it the new Parasite. It's an incredible piece of work. Technically, it's insane because they went to Iran to film this movie illegally, undercover, in secret. And the fact it came out like this is insane. Nobody's got any excuses anymore after this. Unusually, the film is from the bad guy's perspective. So the main character is a police investigator stroke judge who works for the Iranian regime. He's completely drank the Kool-Aid. His whole family basically is completely indebted and woven into that system. I refer to him as Iranian Anakin because it's about how he falls further and further and further into the dark side and how this regime changes him and starts to destroy his family. So at the beginning of the movie, he gets a promotion, and with the promotion, he gets a gun. And then while he's at home, that gun disappears. This is a huge thing. It would get him fired. He would fall out of the regime. And basically, he has to find the gun. But the main suspect, because the gun is always left in the house, is his family. So what is this guy going to do? Is he really going to interrogate his family? Is he going to really take apart his family for the regime? If you've seen the trailers, you know how dark this gets. But what I love about it is it gives you insight into why this regime is even continuing. So it's what everybody wants, a nice middle-class lifestyle with status. That's what this regime is giving these people. And they're willing to give up a lot of other freedoms and stuff. But, the daughters of this man don't feel the same way. They're part of the internet generation and they see the cracks in the propaganda, and there's all these tensions within his family, and the family is a microcosm of what's happening in the rest of the country. So will he really put the regime above his family? And I'll let you see what happens. It is a long, dark descent. What I also like about the movie is that it's directed like the film Jaws by Steven Spielberg, in that the regime isn't really explicit in the movie, apart from a few incidents and stuff. You don't really see the regime in action apart from news reports and stuff. It's like Jaws. It's a shark. It's a presence that is just sitting on top of everything. It seeps into everybody's life. I really like this film. And again, it's another movie about authoritarian regimes and how they take over the ordinary family, the ordinary person, and not the zealots. Because the main guy who was said, Iranian Anakin, actually starts out as a good guy. All he wants to do is the best for his family. He even gives his family, when in the house, a lot of freedom. The kids are basically allowed to be quite liberal while in the house. He lets everybody do what they need to do, and he's trying to do their best. But to succeed, he has to sort of integrate himself into this regime. It's a stunning film. Yes, I think Fernanda Torres should win Best Actress. So a lot of actors are shouty and like high emotions and stuff, but she's had to weave these complicated, minute emotions, which comes down to one word, really, resilience. She's had to act resilience over years. You know, she's had to show how a person emotionally changes. Once her husband has gone or disappeared, she has to be mother and father to the children. She suddenly has to lose a bit of her softer side and just basically be everything to them. Resilience as she changes, as she matures, as she gets older. She's already an old, mature woman when this film starts. She has to act change and evolution and determinedness. All these complex emotions. And she pulls it off. Definitely, I would be clapping if she wins the Oscar. Best Supporting Actor should be Selton Mello as Ruben's Pava in I'm Still Here, which is a scandal. But in I'm Still Here, the character he plays, you only realize at the end of the movie how incredible an actor he is, because they show the real Ruben's Pava who disappeared, and you think that he had a quite soft role and he was just playing daddy, like, you know, a lot of other actors play daddy. But when you see the 8mm movies of the real Rubens who disappears, he has captured the essence of the man, right down to the way he holds his children, his smile, mannerisms, the sheer spirit of the man. I have to admit, it's only because I stayed to the end of the movie did I really appreciate what an incredible job that man has done. And he's going to get overlooked